The 6 weeks of the solo series qualifier is done, and at the first place leaderboard is Solary Kurama, French controller player. Also, his duo Akira is in third as well. So the French doing really good in solos. Now, if you look at his elims, you'll notice 233 in comparison to like 280 or 290, 270, 356. Pretty much out of, I mean, Big Shark here is on 440. So he's actually almost half of the elims of Shark right now. So I want to jump into some of the games and see what he's been doing and how he's so consistent in solos. So one of the things I'm noticing is obviously he has like a high elim game every single week, but there's also just a lot of, you know, general top fives. There's a seventh, I can't speak, seventh, second, fourth, third, moderate amount of eliminations too. So like not every game is a bomb like some of the other teams, obviously because he's lower eliminations. So I want to maybe check this W key game here with the 18 elims and then jump into this second as well. OXR HQ looking a little contested. But one thing I noticed, I was looking at his elim spread straight away, despite the fact being super condo spawn, no elims. And like, sure, he W keys in the mid game here, but most of his elims are actually in the end game, which is probably what I'll be the most interested in. I'd imagine this is how he ends up playing most of those stacked games too, or the ones where he gets low elims, like almost nothing here, and then actually really able to frag in the late game. One thing I really want to look at is actually like who he chooses to frag and fight. This will probably be a dead game, but in the other match you want to watch. All right, super important, right? He has just spent a bunch of time looting, and he's got absolutely shambolic loot, 2 builds, and he dips, right? I swear, like in this scenario, a lot of other players would, you know, maybe spend a bunch of time trying to get some loot, fight in one of these guys. Like they just feel like super confident that everyone around them is going to be really bad. So like, I'll just get killed, just get their loot instead. It's low elo, it'll be fine. But Kurama dips, and I think this is important because this is kind of shows his consistency, right? He is #1 on the leaderboard for a reason across all of these days, and you don't do that just by like taking stupid fights all the time when you have pretty minimal materials. So I like the fact that he's able to disengage even though he's in a low elo lobby. All right, he spent time, got a little bit of loot, basically ran all the way around to the west side of the mountain, sees a player there. I don't know if he actually did see it, but he hears him. He knows that he's here anyway. This guy then starts to try and crank up to height, and I like the way that Kurama takes this fight. It's not very clean by any means, but he's a very like non-flashy player. The first thing he does, covers his top. I'm playing this a little slow, my bad. I don't really know what the goal here was, I'll be completely honest. He gets chopped. That's actually quite a nice little edit. Now, I said I don't know what the goal was here. He gets sprayed out, and then that gives him like a peek over this floor. I don't know if that was what the intention was there by any means, but that was really nice. I don't know if you were just trying to bait him out to take that shot. And he's opened with a 39, goes up. He gets floored. Pickaxes through. Goes up. He's just playing super slow, right? The other guy's now created 4 boxes. Let's get forward. He goes to chop. Takes his time, makes sure the guy's not coming up. Chops him again. Hits 77 as he's dropping. And then the mechanics again are just very basic. Just like, they're almost, you know, it's like successful 2019 mechanics, you know? Like, there's no piece, just literally good angles. I feel like when you're in game, the vast majority of players would be better trying to fight like that. Let's see what other fights look like, though. Successful lurk coming up. Is this going to be a controller classic? No, the guy's too close. Oh, got the cone on. Nice, jump over the top. Got the wall between. Ooh, beautiful bit of piece. I take it back. I was going to say this guy got no piece. Instead, he's just all angles, but he's clearly got piece. Right, this guy ramps. I don't know if this guy must have just saw him here, right? So he cones. So where does he get the floor from? I like the 2 walls to the side. That's really good to make sure this guy can't like sneak around and like run around. He also placed the ramp there at the same time as he placed that floor to get the doubles. Edits, hits a 71. Tried to grab the wall but failed. Cones on top. Doubles one side. Doubles again at the other. Very nice. We also have, I was going to say, we have bush camping. 0-point game, but I guess that's because there's a bunker here. I think it's already opened long before this point. There's a fight happening behind him, and this guy's trying to third party. Another sneaky play, okay. So already he's very sneaky. The biggest thing about, I think, the fighting in-game that most people miss out on is that if you hit someone once, they're going to box up, and then the fight immediately turns in your favor, right? The problem is when you try to end up, like, just fully box fighting all of the time, and like going full piece control, just like jumping up into the sky and stuff like that. You know, that's when in reality, a lot of players will third party. The fight will take a long time. If you could just open a fight quickly with some damage, make the other player box up and then quickly kill them. Like that's the ultimate goal for every in-game fight. All right, the Fizz crash pad comes out. Slides up. Good opener. Ooh, nice attempt to go round. Taking things slow. Like the drop down. This is a lot of layers to drop though. That's really good tracking to see where that player went. Crouching underneath now. I like this. Now just ramp phases in. Ooh, I like the angles that you hold there. Hold on 1 second. Let me go back. Yeah, this is something I've seen a lot more players do recently when they're pickaxing from below. Rather than running into the box, does he crouch here? He goes up, And then he just stays here, right? So he doesn't like jump up and replace the floor or anything. He just sits in this angle. So if another player, like if this other guy places a floor, he's just going to phase it. And this can then like make the other player drop down. You see, he's just standing in that position. He's not trying to replace the floor. And then he drops down and then later replaces it whilst replacing the ramp at the same time. Edits him in. It's the bang. What a surprise. We have yet another lurk from Kurama. This time hiding behind a tree. Now this fight does drag out a little bit more. Ooh, potential little mishap there hitting into the tree. Opens with a 50 damage tag and then gets hit back in return. Up to take height. Nice. Angle switching onto the wall. Really nice, like, positional to take the wall from. Sitting on the diagonal. This guy's just lost. Spends the time to reload. Isn't, like, boxing up. Isn't doing anything crazy. He's healing whilst trying to figure out where he is. Same thing again there. Notice how he did the same thing, right? He's still on this floor level. Like, he's not jumped up and replaced the floor. He's just standing in it. So if that player places it, he'll phase. Ooh! And then double edits from down below. All right, so this time, he gets snuck up on. Gets hit for only an 18. That guy hit absolutely the most minimum possible. Bunch of boxes to work with here. Look how slow he is in, like, a non-insulting way, right? Like, look how much time. He just takes his time. Plays the right angles, like sitting on a peak. Creates a box. He's not panicking, not doing anything stupid. Sitting on a right hand. Still making footsteps. Like, he's making no bad edits here, you know? That was not a great one. But it was while that guy had the pickaxe out. Ooh! Ooh, that was nice. All right, so this guy pickaxes. I love how he holds this angle. You see that guy's placed the wall. So he can't edit out that double. Boxes up in case that guy gets in. Double edits. 160 on the left hand. Goes through, pumps through, grabs the wall, gets the cone, switches to the pistol. Bang, dead. Yeah, again, he's on the defensive. Big Draken Lord 7 thinks he's the king. Kurama's obviously just got this kill, so got a bunch of extra mats. This is right after getting that free elim. He spends his time getting a bunch of space, destroying all those old builds that are there from the previous fight. Well, it wasn't really the previous fight. The previous guy he just landed on. Ooh, I don't know if that was intentional. Let me check for a second there. I don't know if this was intentional or not, right? But this is his metal wall here. And you'll notice he pickaxes it before editing. Now, I don't know, like I said, if this is intentional, but this is some tech that could be interesting because say if this guy thinks this isn't your wall, he might then take out his blueprints and try to hold it while it's breaking, right? So if he pickaxes here, hurry up, do it, mate. So it is his. He's looking. So he pickaxed. And then I wonder if this guy goes, oh, it's not his wall. I can try and take it or hold it. So then he edits through. Because this guy's totally lost at that point. Hits 2 shots then. Pumps. Goes up. And then just kills him out like that. Maybe some tech. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but maybe we're overcooking it. All right. He's basically not done much since then. He does love a good little crouch, you know? He loves a good crouch, a good little sneak. I think he's basically waiting for any of these guys to try and rotate. I don't know if any of them have crash pads right ahead. This is where he's going to get 10 more kills. So there's 14 players up to get 10 kills from here. Even though he shot that guy, I love that he's still crouching. That's funny. Seems like a strange place to box. Pressure in this guy's floor, who looks incredibly awful. What? Okay, I think that guy's literally AFK. That might have been... I've seen some bad play. If you watch my solo Cash Cup stream, you'll know I've seen some of the worst players of all time. That might be up there with one. No offense, of course. Crush pads. Good little pathing. I don't care too much about the mechanics of this endgame. I more want to focus on the frags. Another great chop. Front wall down. Cone edited. Anyone on top of you goes down. Full box. I was going to say max damage. Not really. Nice. Number 1, anyone landing on your head, especially by not placing a floor there, he can edit them out even faster. But you can still do that with a floor regardless, okay? Runs out to the side. Random kill. Nice. Everyone just flying through the sky. Pistol obviously comes in very handy. He does love to play low ground. I've watched some of his div cups, and he does love a bit of low ground generally. Ooh, nice. That was another one of those, like, let me go back. So he cracks this guy, hits him for 20, shoots the floor. He does this thing again here. I'm going too slow. Where he cones. And then edits down. That's such a nice edit, actually. Just like not doubling, just placing a cone and then an edit. And that just drops him straight down. That's the second time I've now seen him in this one game kill someone like that, which is really nice. What is this guy doing, bro? This guy's out for a swim in the storm in the 10 zone. I thought he just blocked him in. I was like, that's some nice BM. That guy dying for him. He hasn't actually like pickaxed anyone on his lair ever. Ooh, nice. That's the one thing I've noticed so far is like he hasn't like tried to pressure someone near him. Like if there's a guy there was a guy diagonally boxed up from him. And he wasn't looking for kills by just like box fighting and whatnot. He's really just looking out for players who are just flying through the air. He can get pistol shots on. Even here, like that guy's right next to him and he could go for like the floor or whatever, but he decides not to and just goes up a layer. Now it's, I guess, top 3. It's still like a low elo game, so like the win here, not super relevant or impressive. Obviously, it sets you up nicely for the rest of the tournament. I actually don't think he's pickaxed a wall this entire game. Nice. Good edit. The 6 Tyler whilst hugging the right-hand peak. That's really nice. Now it's down to a final 1v1 onto build pour. There's so many mats. This is the problem with playing double pump. You can hit this edit. There you go. Okay. Yeah, the problem with playing double pump is like he just freely killed that kid off height. Nice. And then goes for the 25 as the guy chops. Kurama loves low ground. Even in this scenario, he's not just like crash betting onto height or anything. He's still playing low. Nice height retake. I really like that actually. Super simple. As I say about how much he loves the low ground. Reconnected, crouching, so he doesn't know. Nice, great angles. Again, like... What is this disrespect, bro? What is this disrespect? Ah, he just threw him a mini. That is so funny. That is so funny, bro. Oh, what have I just seen? All right, in the higher elo games, not landing at the same drop spot. He's over here, which is kind of pants, I think, to be honest with you. And again, as I mentioned in the start of the previous game, Epic Pen, where is it? There it is. Pretty much no fighting in the mid game, and then just 4 elims at the end. All right, so basically he looted off spawn. I skipped all of it because it was hella boring. Looted off spawn, disengaged from every fight he was in, essentially made like 2 brick boxes every time someone fought him and just waited. That was really about it. There wasn't like, anything interesting. And now at this point, third zone. Zone's pulling northeast, as you've already seen. He's boxed up, where is it? Next to this big goated pad in OXR, so like relatively center. Or no, he did not go for it. Instead, he seems to be going for the supply drop, and it's Chap he's actually up against. He's getting kind of packed in a little bit here. Similarly, drops the low, creates a bunch of boxes where he is most comfortable. I think other players are now fighting for that supply drop, so I think he's kind of lost his chance here. So now he's going to be a little low on mats. Has he been bitched off? Is he going to leave? No. Interesting. Okay. Well, we know he doesn't get any kills, so at this point, or if he just stays in this box and just sits here, that's probably going to be the case. Yeah, he does have all those boxes back, so I've already skipped ahead, so spoiler. I know he crash pads. A little bit of an awkward spot. You're probably better off just sitting next to all of the launch pad that he has before in those old boxes. Interesting coverage of the ramp above him to stop him getting sprayed from below as well. From behind, sorry. One thing also I like here is he's running back to his old boxes, right? The old metal that he has here. And he's super careful, right? Like you can see he pauses, he edits and looks through to see if anyone's sitting like camping in his box here before going in. Like look how careful he is just to make sure no one's camping in here. And that's kind of the things you need to be doing if you're trying to be consistent, right? He's left his box for like 45, 60 seconds or something like that. And another player could easily have just taken over it. But if you want to, get snuck up on and die every game, which happens to a lot of players in solos, you can't be doing stuff like this. I think I double negative that, but you know what I mean. Nice little refarm as well. I'm just skipping through. So he got most of his wooden brick back there, up to 117 builds total. 5th zone pulls where he is. All right, he's now pulled max 6th zone. If he had a fizz here, he could use that launch pad, but he does not. So it's insta as soon as zone pops, uses the crash pad with the cone edit to get himself out. Good little stagger here to spend some time to get his whites back up. I wonder if he's going to use another crash pad or to run. It's kind of a problem in these zones. You can easily get crash padded on if people are using like fizz. So I wonder if he's actually just going to go by foot or just wait. All right, that guy's going in front of him. Just create a single box. This is probably a good time for him to leave if he's scouting to make sure he can go. Maybe he just goes late. I don't know. Let's see. Nice. He follows. That guy hit a crash pad. Couple walls in front. I like the pathing here that he's going behind all of these walls. He's very like material efficient. Like there's been almost no builds that he's placed this entire game so far, or in the previous one I watched, that have been like a waste. Like he's not put a cone in. He's not got a ramp on a floor on top. Like he's literally made the minimum amount of builds he could possibly do in this spot to get in here. I think actually playing solo cash grip yesterday was probably my personal biggest issue, is just using, I don't know, like if I was trying to protect an angle, I'm building 800 ramps to do it, getting super messy, whereas he's just slow, consistent, very material efficient. Another max zone. This is a rough one because basically everyone's on the same congested side as he is here. Done a good job going ahead marking it. He's also just marked like the closest side here. That also shows he's looked, because I think he marked up here because there's a drop down. So obviously you don't want to be down this side. So if you're doing what this guy's doing and rotate down, bad. So he's noticed that, okay, looking ahead, seeing the elevation, this is going to go up. I'm assuming that's what he's done. If not, you should do that anyway. All right, wait for a little bit. I like how every rotate is not just crash pad straight away. He basically waits until there's an opportunity for him to go by foot. And then he's reused someone else's crash pad there. Really nice. Because he only has 3 for himself. There's another one lying on the floor, so he can use this. Maybe he does actually end up going down here, which is interesting. So he is in a bit of a rough spot if the zone pulls up, but he still has his 3 crash pads at least. All right, lucky zone pulls south of him. So this is just a free single crash pad to get in. He's already, again, pre-marked the zone. This time deeper into the further side. I wonder if that's because of the water there, so he can try and not waste his big pot. We will see after the rotate. All right, he's staggered. Well, not really staggered. He's not rotated. Just waited for a bit. Holding the cone edit. Make sure he doesn't get blocked off here. I think just scouting like this is good, just to make sure you're not gonna milk straight away. Nice little edit. Places the ramp to try and not get shot. Goes back. And yes, I think he did scout the water. That was a really smart rotate then. So he saved his 1 big pot here by essentially just using the scouting ahead, spotting that there was the shield water here, and then just sitting in. Really nice. I don't think he'll actually have the time to get fully healed up. He's not marked this zone, which is the first one yet. So, I mean, seems worth it. Already up to 79. He's pretty much getting max shield from this. I think he will. I can't really see there's so many arrows. I don't know if he'll be able to spend enough time to get all the way up. That's another thing he does quite a lot, is actually just hold the edits and look through them. Good layering to go up. He is reusing crash pads a lot because now he has 3 still left his name. Shooting the one player holding him. Yeah, shooting the single player holding him so that they box and edit up, and then himself just using the crash pad. Okay, he's down to 35 builds now, though. Just to kind of start at the point where he's going to need to start looking for a refresh. Now he uses the big pot. All right, let's see what he does. Similarly, just holding his own edits again. Right, crash pads front side. Not a high crash pad. 2x1 on low. This gives him enough space to try and box fight from if he needs to. Holding players the back. This guy's cracked. Does not overcommit, so he doesn't just run straight towards that. Someone's blocked his top. Ooh, I was wondering if he's going to go for another cone edit to drop him in there if that guy edited on. Another crash pad front side. Again onto low ground. Very, very comfortable there. Now you can sit and look back from these edits. Down to 17 builds now. He's definitely making the most of every single build he has. Nice. Oh, that's sky jump. Fellow solo player. Ooh, not too greedy. Okay, he only got siphon mats. I don't know if he actually got all the mats from that at all. Again, material efficient there. He doesn't fully tarp. He just created a few, you know, like a couple walls and a cone. Another 2x1. I think we dropped that AR. That's funny. Player on the backside. I guess when you're on low ground, you have so many opportunities for players who are just scuffed, just running next to your builds. So like, I guess if you have no mats, this is just exactly the kind of layers you want to be playing, as long as you're good at actually playing it and not getting blocked like many people are. Right, picked up the air. Strange choice. Phases in. Max damage onto Clement. Is this like only French players in this lobby or something like that? Is he elo bugging with French players only? All right, now he's scuffed. All right, I love the fact that he was on a scuff layer. Ramps over, crash pads, get straight out. That's nice. Now he's up to a good spot at the front side. Only wood left. He does often just like hold a wall, like a hold and edit, peek through it, and just wait for someone to go through it there. He didn't actually end up getting a shot, but still. Thanks a little storm to claim a 2x1 on the front side, so he can pop one of the med kits that he has. Down to 12 builds again. Love that peek where you just edit through the floor vertically like that. Into time reloading. Another kill onto Raiko. Nice. I mean, basically most of the elims so far, outside of the elim onto Clement, is just waiting for players to go near his wall and just one-pumping them. Literally nothing special yet. In a good way, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff you need to be good at if you want to be consistent in solos like Kurama is. And then just playing out the max placement possible, right? It's a top 6. He's got a single medkit, a couple builds left to his name. Already 2 more people have died, so that's 2 more placement thresholds just by the single medkit there. Now we can run in. Gets another kill because the other player doesn't expect him. Oh, beautiful max on Velo as well there. Top 5 now. That medkit play really set him up for what is now a top 3. 25 builds. I think he milks the win here. Must do it. Doesn't seem like the other guy's playing like he doesn't have any mats. But also Kurama doesn't have any heal off. Oh, it's Snazy. Mate, this must literally just be an entire French lobby. Okay. Interesting match. I really like the way he plays. I feel like if you are someone who is not good at fighting in-game, but you're good at creative, kind of replicating the style that Kurama has is definitely something I would recommend. Obviously, he's literally been the best solo player so far. Interesting to see how he does in the set lobby finals, which will be this weekend. Bye. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. See ya.